Welcome back into the Ohio MMA podcast. I am your host, David McKinney. Joining me on today's episode, amateur fighter Hunter Fatality Frazer. What's up, Hunter?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. First off, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
It's funny because I always talk to people. I send out stuff. I did commentary for your last fight, which we'll talk about that. But you asked to be on the podcast, and that's how you get on the podcast, man. You said,
Man.
"Hey, well, I got some stories to tell you on the podcast, and I want to hear them." So yeah, that's the best way. People always ask, "How do I get on the podcast?"
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm here to tell them.
But yeah, let's start off. So you just a couple weeks ago picked up a TKO win, 64 seconds over Dillon Zartman at OCL 37, move your record to 2-1. That was a quick finish, man. That fight I had circled on my far card. I was like, this one's not going to last very long. Two guys who want to go out and two power punchers, and it didn't. But you came out to win. So what's it like? How are you recovering? How is the fight go? How you expected it?
Good. Yeah, man. I mean, we came prepared for all the rounds. I wanted to switch off that mentality of let me try and get somebody out of the first round. Instead let me settle in and be patient and take the finish when it comes. But I had we had set up our shots and we were working them, but I had overheard his corner, calling out some of the stuff they had they were telling him a heads up for my 2 when I was trying to set it up. So we made some adjustments and man, we knew he was going to try and grapple. So when he did, I ended up kind of shucking him off a whizzer. And then I went in and I hit him with a Superman punch. And then that's when it went to the ground after that. So I went for the finish and we got it. So it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. His coach, Max Metzger, I don't know if you know this or not, but that gym, they're a little bit newer, but they have some fights under their belt. They had never had a defeat before. So you were the first fighter to defeat a fighter from that gym.
Oh, shit.
Max is an awesome coach, man. And that gym's been doing some special things, but you hand them their first loss. I don't expect them to have many losses in the sport with the type of guys they have, but that's a pretty cool thing on your record.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew some of the guys from that area that my Muay Thai coach, Neal, Rowe, he knows some of the guys that train up there, and he was like, they're legit, but we had faith in our training, so we're willing to put it up against anybody.
Yeah. Let's talk about, since you mentioned your coach, Neal, Rowe. So you have quite the supporting cast behind you. I know you train at with Neal Rowe at Sacan Martial Arts, Roger Bowling, UFC vet at Team Relentless, training with Radford. I know you also train with Alex Burkett from Gorilla Road. What's it like, man, having such a legendary coaching staff behind you? I know you're only 3 fights into your career, but that's got to give you a lot of confidence anytime you step into the cage.
It does. It started with Rob. It started with actually one of Rob's fighters, Dale Crow. When I told you, when I was like, hey, talk to me about it on the podcast, how I got into fighting. And I ended up getting into some trouble, and I did a little stint. I did some state time. I ended up doing 6 years. I changed my life around when I was in there, got into fitness, and I had met Dale Crow, who was actually doing a 20-year sentence. He's finishing up on it, but met him. He was a pro boxer. His coach was Rob Radford, so he saw my dedication in there to just putting in work and trying to, put myself in a better position. And, I used boxing as an outlet, so he hooked me up with his coach, who was Rob Radford. And then the lineage goes down. Through him, I met Roger Bowling. And then when it came time for my Muay Thai, he sent me up to Neal, Rowe. And that's where I met Alex Burkett, and we've just kind of developed a solid little program ever since. So yeah, man, it's been life-changing working with them guys and having them say that they see something in you, or that they think you're going to take it to the next level. That feels good. So it helps drive me.
Yeah, man, everyone has a story, and it's always wild how, like, those little connections, no matter in the most unexpected places and where they lead you in life, man. That's always fascinating to hear. But
the whole web. Yeah.
Yeah, those are some good people though, man. I know Roger's been around forever since my early days of covering
Yeah.
local MMA. Roger was fighting over. I think he was in Strikeforce at the time, but
Yeah.
he'd fought a
Yeah.
bunch for MMA Big Show in
Yeah.
Cincinnati and
Yeah.
over in
Roger's
Indiana.
awesome.
And yeah, that's a great team to have behind you, man. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
You
Yeah, they're tough guys. They're tough guys. And Alex Burkett, he's a solid grappler. So we've we've been putting in some good work lately. Ready to
yeah, and
show it all off.
I know you also mentioned you're training with some fighters who are a lot more active now. You've got trained a lot with Jimmy Sandlin, who I know
Yeah.
I feel like he fights like every
Sandstorm.
2 weekends.
He fights
Uh,
all the time. He's got a fight coming up May 10th. Yeah.
yeah, and one in June too, which
Yeah.
up in Sandusky. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
And then Elijah, who's going to be on the podcast soon, Elijah Woodroof. I know you train with him, another pro.
Yeah.
So you've got a bunch of fighters that are, I'm sure, pushing you every single day, man.
Yeah,
That's
man. Yeah.
what's
I
it
got
like
an
having
awesome
guys
team.
like that, fighting beside you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We've been in the gym a lot with Sky Gooden. He's from Sacan. Yeah, man. We got a solid team there. We give each other good work. George Nichols. Yeah, man. A lot of active fighters, a lot of fights coming up. So we're gonna try and get on the OCL card May 17th. That's the goal. We're trying to get something worked out, but we haven't found a fight yet. But that would be nice. Have a quick turnaround and fight again, right by home.
Yeah, that would be a nice quick turnaround. It's always nice having having the fights. I've done OCL commentary forever, and I'm from Columbus originally, but I'm like, man, it's nice when you get those shows down in Newport. It's like 10 minutes from my house. I drive.
Yeah. Man.
That's nice, and that venue is awesome too. So
Yeah.
hopefully you'll get on that card. Yeah. So you mentioned getting your start before MMA. You know the boxing experience, and I know you have a little bit of Muay Thai experience, grappling. What do you feel like is the importance of kind of not of competing in those each individual martial art prior to putting it all together in MMA?
Well, that was the goal from Rob Radford and Neal Rowe. They were like, hey, we want you to get your feet wet in other sports. We want you to feel what it's like to compete in these separately and then put them all together. So I ended up getting MMA was always my goal, but I ended up getting caught up in boxing and just fell in love with that and put my heart into that for a couple years. So I competed in that. And then once it was time for me, where I was like, hey, I got to switch to MMA soon, and this is what I want to do, so I got to pursue this. So I went out to Sacan, and the whole time I've always worked along with Roger. Me and Roger will go to Rob Radford's gym. We'll train at Roger Bowling's house. We'll travel to gyms together. So I've always consistently trained with Roger throughout these years too. Yeah. Then Neal wanted me to get some tournaments under my belt, some competition. So we did some grappling, and then we switched over to MMA, and here we are. This is where we wanted to be.
Yeah, and speaking of switching over to MMA, you have not taken it lightly in your first couple of fights. You fought your first opponent was a debut opponent, but then you step into your next fight, man, and like I guess 3-0 at the
Relentless. Man, he was good. Yeah.
I know you're. What's kind of the motivation of taking that huge step up? Because I know you took a loss early in your career. It's amateur. It's not. It doesn't matter as much. But what was the motivation in taking such a tough fight on early in your career?
Just not saying no. I'm like, hey, I'm here to fight. I want to fight the best they got to offer. I want to take it to the next level. So I don't want to get comfortable fighting people that aren't gonna test my skills and put it to the, put me to the test. I want to improve. I want to win fights, but I want to fight the best guys. So,
yeah, and you fought at kind of in between 185 and 205. So it's such a division where everyone is like, it's like this power of heavyweights, but the speed of like lightweights. It's one of my favorite divisions. Not a ton of fighters in the division, but do you kind of what's it like knowing that pretty much every fighter that you go into at 185 to 205 is going to be super athletic, crazy power.
And they're all big. I'm short. I'm only 5'10", so I'm dense. But it's like it seems like every time. That's how it was in boxing too. I fight these guys, and they're massive. They're big. They're athletic. So But I like it, man. I like it. I love to fight, So I'm like, I just love to be in there. I love to hit and get hit and just be caught up in the fucking chaos. You know what I mean? So I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I know I know this makes a little bit more sense to me now that you told me your full story. But prior
Yeah.
to the other probably one of the best quotes I've ever gotten prior to in one of my pre-fight interviews, and I had to throw it out there is you said we don't mess with judges either in courtrooms or sports
Yeah.
commissions.
Neither of them. Neither of them. You know
That's
what's crazy? Is that week I was joking around at the gym at Sacan, and people were like, "Hey, like how do you predict this is gonna go?" And I was like, "Round one, Superman punch." You know what I mean? So it was crazy looking back. I'm like, Superman punch played into the whole stoppage and all that. Yeah, man. Yeah. So we don't want to go to the judges. I want the action. Yeah. Give
that's
people a
always
good show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a good mindset. I feel like you got to be prepared to go the whole distance, but that you get it finished early if you can.
Yeah. 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 We're not
Uh,
paid by the hour.
yeah,
Well, we're not paid at all now, but shit,
yeah.
in the future.
One other thing you mentioned is I know you work as a personal trainer and you're because that's got to be a huge blessing that you always get to be in the gym. But you mentioned that you said you have to remind yourself to kind of slow down and give
Yeah.
yourself time. You're just like me. You're on the other side of 30, but you got to
Yeah. Yeah.
tell me about that, man. Having to make sure that you get time, get recovery time, but then also you're
Yeah.
doing a lot of stuff that's maybe some of the mental reps too of like shadow boxing and things like that, and light rolling stuff like that. How
Yeah.
do you how do you like kind of force yourself to do that?
It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes I don't. I mean, I'm always in the gym. I'm training. I'm either doing striking or jujitsu or grappling, or I'm working out with weights. I got two daughters, so I'm a dad, and then I work, so I'm always on the go. And sometimes it'll be like after I've went in so hard for 5 days and put myself through the ringer that I'm like, dang, like I gotta slow down for a day, chill out and recover. But I mean, I feel good even at my age. I don't feel I'm slowing down. I feel like my health and just overall my physical abilities are at the peak that they ever have been right now. I really wasn't an athlete growing up. I was always a street kid who was fighting. You know what I mean? And then once I got into exercising and working out, and I said, hey, fighting something I want to do, that's when I started. I never had a six pack or anything in my life. You know what I mean? I was no physical abilities.
Yeah, sound like me.
that was me. So I'm like,
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I got into like I've done like jujitsu and stuff, and then I got into running a few years ago, and I'm now and then hit like weightlifting, and you're like, man, it's addictive, right? And it's hard
yeah,
to walk away. Like
yeah,
if I take even like a day off, I'm like feeling like I'm like antsy to like do something, and I'm like I
yeah,
need to
yeah.
do it, like doing
Yep,
push-ups or
no,
something. But
I
yeah,
get it.
that's yeah. I feel like once it is interesting because a lot of people once it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? Once you start doing it, then either you can go snowball the wrong way and you can become a couch potato and go the wrong direction, or you can go
Yeah,
the right direction. And yeah, I'm the same way. You've mentioned a couple of times, I know you're a big family man, but with your two daughters. But what was it like? I mean, making your MMA debut in your 30s. I know you've done boxing and you've competed it before, but
yeah,
what's that mindset like after, I think you were 31 when you made your debut, but now you're
yeah,
32.
yeah,
What's it like? I know do you feel like the clock is ticking? Do you look at guys that have in this sport who have started late, and like Randy Couture is the one that people always throw
yeah,
out, and they're
yeah,
like, but how do you feel? Like, how do you balance that of like, you know that Father Time's undefeated, but
yeah.
you still got time right now.
So
Do you feel like you're in a
I want
hurry?
to get. I want to get as much out of it as I can, but I know that it doesn't last. It doesn't last forever. But once we don't see any signs of it right now. I mean, we're good. We feel healthy. We feel young. We feel strong. So we're like, yeah, we'll ride it till the wheels fall off. We know we're coming there. We want to be violent. We want to fight. So that's what we're there to do.
Yeah, that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah, yeah,
I noticed you also have the MMA Takes podcast as a sponsor. How did that work out?
yeah, yeah.
How did
Brian
you get
Petrie.
connected? Yeah,
So I got hooked up with them through a buddy. Rogers introduced me to a lot of people that he knew, and a buddy of his, Jake McElfresh, who in the fight scene as well, more like the managing part. He had hooked me up with Brian Petrie as a sponsor through MMA Takes. So I got him on my shorts. My last fight shorts ended up not getting here in time. So I had to wear my gray ones without any sponsors on them. But yeah, I got some good sponsors. I got Brian Petrie for MMA Takes. I've got Ed's Party Bus here in Cincinnati, Sebastian's Grooming Company in Cincinnati, Unique Inc., Die Dreaming Apparel out of Cincinnati. Yeah, so we got some good sponsors. But yeah, he always gives me little shout outs and all that. So that's nice because he has his weekly segment on the Anik Florian podcast.
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, especially as a
He's
guy
awesome.
with a couple of amateur fights under your belt to have
Yeah,
someone
man.
going to bat for you, man, and get your name out there. This
Yeah,
just like anything else, man. It's getting your name out there in front of people and who you
it
know.
is. It is. Yeah, yeah. That
Um,
highlight reels. So
I figured
yeah.
you would have a tattoo sponsor. What's the tattoo sponsor? Unique Ink.
Unique Ink. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually just left there earlier, finishing up some stuff. Did this on me my last couple fights, and then we do Team Relentless is that's something from Roger. Roger's name was Relentless Roger Bowling.
Yeah.
So pretty much the guy, the fighters that he's working with right now, are the little group. We call ourselves Team Relentless, and it's a solid group, man. We got some good wrestlers, good strikers. Yeah, we're here. We're gonna start competing more. We have LFC 5, Robbie Maloff's LFC 5. In Cincinnati on June 7th is a grappling jiu-jitsu competition, sub only. So we'll be there. I'll be competing then. Alex Burkett will be competing. Jamon Spiler will be competing. Roger Bowling will be there coaching us. So yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, that's quite a team, man, and I've known Robbie for a long time. It's interesting to see him. He's had his hand in everything, man. I knew he would start promoting before long, and it didn't take him too long to start promoting. And he's just that type of guy, the entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. He's got an awesome gym too up
Dana
in Walnut Hills.
The new Dana White.
Yeah, no, that name, pretty much everyone, especially in Cincinnati, knows him. But most Ohio people, and we got to get him some more MMA fights, man. I think he's undefeated, but yeah, hopefully get him back in the cage.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And I can't let you get out of here without talking about maybe the kind of one of the coolest things that I've seen. And at the show, my commentary partner Mark Antonelli calling it out, which it's funny because we never talk about walkout songs.
Yeah,
your walkout song, he was like, "Oh yeah, this is the Outfield."
Yeah, I heard it.
Your Love, and I was like, "Yeah, but it's like a remix or something." I didn't know the song, and it turns out that it's Kleptomaniac, and the song is "Spin Your Block," which has a sample of the Outfield. Your Love. And it's a cool song. And then he did a video with the commentary.
Man. Yeah.
Do you have a connection to him, or just love the song, or what's the story there?
So I heard the song. This was maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks before the fight, and I had been listening to it, and I was like, oh, like I like the song, you know what I mean? Just kept listening to it, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna walk out to, you know. So when that came to me, and I saw the footage and everything, so I tried to get him the footage, and I ended up getting it to him, and he reached out to me, and he was like, hey, man, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to make a video about this, and, yeah, it just went from there. But we've talked and chatted. Yeah, he's awesome, man. Yeah, it was a dope video. It was cool how he cut in your guys' commentary to it and everything.
Yeah, that it's always funny when people, because this is the MMA side of my life. People don't know as much because I don't look like the guy that would be like an MMA company. People are like, you do that? Like, yeah, it's like my hobby. My
yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time, but people that have seen it that or seen me call fights, they're like, you sound like a totally different person than in your real life. I'm like, I got a real job and go into an office every day, and then people are like, wait, you do what?
Yeah,
But that's pretty cool. I can show them like, this is me doing this. But yeah, and then also with and people are like, oh, like that. I mean, most people are like, oh yeah, that's not for me. The fighting part of it. But I'm like, yeah, you get into it and you never get out of it, man. That's so
it's addicting. It's addicting.
it definitely is addictive. But yeah, that's an awesome song, Kleptomaniac. Spin your block.
Yeah, spin your block, man. It's good. It's catchy, isn't it?
Very catchy.
Yeah.
Like I went back and was like, yeah, because like I said, Mark and I were talking about it, and I kind of forgot about it, and then I went back and rewatched it. I'm like, oh yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and once Kleptomaniac saw it, he was hyped. That was that was cool. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, it's awesome, kind of bringing the MMA and the music world together. Last show, the last OCL show, one of the fighters, I think it was Jaden Maddox, had someone walking him to the cage singing.
Yeah, I think I saw the reel of that.
Yeah. So that it's always unique stuff. MMA and like especially like hip hop rap like seems to kind of go together. Like
hand in hand. It's the violence, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, man, thanks so much for joining me. I know.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the exposure. You know what I mean? Hopefully we got some fight news this week, so be on the lookout for that. We'll be dropping.
If it comes out before the podcast comes out, then we'll look really smart, won't we?
Hell yeah.
We'll come back and we'll be like, I'll spice it in and be like, yeah, this is the announcement of the fight. But
exactly.
I know Hard Rock, I'm sure is out there. He's a hustler, man. He never stops working. So
man. Yeah, he's awesome. Yep.
Great matchmaker, and OCL's always puts on a good show. Troy and Travis.
Man. Yeah, they had awesome production, everything. It was dope fighting for them. I like it.
Well, congrats on the win, man.
Thank you,
like
brother.
I said, I'm sure we'll see you back very, very soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, no time off.
Yeah. Yeah, man, thank you so much. That is Hunter Fatality Frazer. Thanks so much for joining me, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back next week with another episode.